Hey guys, and welcome to game number 95 out of 100 of the Mack vs. Machine series, where I'll be playing 100 games of Scrabble against the top online bot, HastyBot. We're quickly nearing the end of the series. We only have 6 games to go, including this one. I'm currently at 55.5 wins, so the series is clinched, but I'm trying to get to 60 wins if I can. I'll need to win 5 out of the last 6, so it's going to be a tall order, but let's see if we can start with a win today. So we're going to jump right in, and HastyBot opens with Craft. Unfortunately, it didn't give me a tile I would need for an 8. An I would have given me Trihedra, or an E would have given me Threader or Rethread. I don't believe I have any 8s available with any of the tiles in Craft, so that's too bad. I could just play Chard. That looks pretty good. 22 points, keeps a nice ERT leave. Do I have anything that goes in front of craft? There's a lot of words here. Like, I'm close to aircraft, for instance. Seacraft, warcraft. I have a feeling that's going to get used at some point, so we'll want to definitely keep an eye on that. I think probably just Chard is fine. I could play Chart, with the idea being I keep the D, since there's already this floating T with craft that I'd love to try to use for a bingo to get to one of the triples, and having another T would duplicate that and make it a little bit tougher to use. So I could play Chart instead of Chard, but ERT probably just bingos more often in general through these A's as well and hits more 7s, so I think Chart is probably fine. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so Veep and E-Chard comes down. Yeah, I did notice the E-Chard hook, but it wasn't particularly dangerous. He couldn't have really fit a bingo or particularly high-scoring play there. So I guess the craft extensions are now all gone, though, with the V there. And I don't draw particularly well here. Pull a G and another T. And I don't have many ways to score points with this rack. So I may want to try to just get rid of a lot of tiles. I don't think I have anything that ends with, say, ATE here. That would be nice to get a double-double. I'm close to Tolerate, for instance, amongst other things. But I don't think I have anything there. Yeah, this is actually pretty awkward. Yeah, I'd love to get rid of a G, a T, maybe even an L. Do I have anything through this H that would score reasonably? I guess maybe just GAT. Scores 18. That's probably about as good as I'm going to do. I feel like getting rid of the G has to be a priority here. Yeah, I really don't see anything better than this. Okay, so Yum comes down. I've got Reluct, as well as Cluster. So I have Reluct over here for 72. Cluster and E-Chards is going to be a lot more points, though. Yeah, 83. So 11 more points is definitely too much to pass up to avoid putting a C in the triple-triple line. That's not ideal, but it's not super scary. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so Viola and weird draw. 2 O's, 2 U's, and an X and a blank. I mean, I suppose I just play Ox here, right? It scores 52 points. So I don't think there's all that much else to consider. And Olafin comes down. I have Rubius now with a blank S. So that'll play with either Crafts or Olafins. They score probably just about the same. It's 70 with Crafts, and it is 71 with Olafins. So 1 more point. Positionally speaking, I guess I should probably play it with Crafts so I don't open up this O column here. There's still a J, a Q, and a Z unseen, so I could definitely get hurt through this I in Rubius if I play here, as well as on the O column overlapping with RE. So I think for just a 1-point sacrifice, it's sensible to play it here. Yeah, I don't have any 8s. Yeah, unless I have an 8 through this N. I didn't actually look there yet. Switch taking a couple seconds, but I don't think so. It's going to be tough with the 2 U's and the B. Runabout I'm somewhat close to. But yeah, I don't think Viburnum, that would be pretty cool. I'm also one off of that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing there that's available. So I'm going to play Rubius over here, and the bot bingo's right back with Radier. I drew decently here. Don't think I have any 8s. I'd have adenomas with an M. So I've got options. One option is just to blow through tiles and score the max I can, which I would imagine is 32 for Anodize. I could also try to play above Rightier. Question is with what? I feel like Anodize probably isn't sensible. I have enough good bingo tiles on my rack that blowing the rack up for just 32 seems a little bit ill-advised. I guess I have Ion here. Yeah, that's 27, so that's certainly better than Anodize. The S is worth well more than 5 points. So that's not bad. I could also just play Add, I guess. Keeps AENOS. I don't love this sleeve, though. There's still a lot of E's unseen. I don't want to end up getting like all 1-pointers that don't work together. So I'm not a huge fan of just playing Add. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Ion right now. Do I have anything with Olafine? Because that also takes an E. I could also honestly just play a Do over here. That's not a crazy idea, because AENS is a really strong leave. Yeah, I think all of these options are quite reasonable. Any of Aeon... I mean, Add is not a bad play. I just don't really personally like that in this position. And a Do is a very reasonable play also. Yeah, I mean, from an equity standpoint, a Do is probably the best. Because Aeon is 27, yeah, AENS is probably 6 points better than ADS just because of the increased bingo percentage. The board is pretty open regardless, so I'm not too fixated on closing it down. I guess the spot above right ear is actually not that dangerous, because it's not possible for him to get a 8+ point tile in front of the E. And with the H and the T there, as well as the G, he can't really have a long word with a ton of overlap. So it's going to be hard for him to score more than like 30 or 40 in that spot. It's not that scary. So I kind of like a Do, actually. Just to maximize my bingo percentage a little bit. And also does take away some big plays with Olafine that he might have. Has some defensive merit as well. So I don't know, I think these are all reasonable options. I'm going to play a Do. Okay, so I draw the Y. So I don't think I'm going to bingo. Now I guess I'll just play AY. That scores well, and AENPS is a fantastic leave. So I have a hard time imagining I'm going to do better than that. This is definitely better than playing Yap on the top left, I would imagine. I mean, it's 2 more points, and I think the P adds a lot of value just because it's a pretty good bingo tile, and it'll help me score in cases where I don't manage to bingo. So I'm going to play A here for sure. And the bot plays buys. I draw 2 more E's. So not great. What's the score? I'm up, but not by a lot. There's still a blank and 2 S's unseen. So this position is far from comfortable. I'm thinking strongly about just blowing up this rack with the play of Pisan. Scores 37. It's obviously quite risky because it opens up a large bingo line on the O column where he could score quite well. But the nice thing is, it does turn over more tiles for the blank, and it at least opens a counter spot so that if he bingos, I'll hopefully be able to score well next to this P, and maybe even retake the lead. I just don't feel that confident if I play something... Yeah, I mean, if I play with Olafine, I'm going to be opening up just as dangerous a line. And I don't really want to just play something like this. Because then I'm up 26. That just doesn't feel secure with all this firepower unseen. And by secure, I mean able to hold on reliably with without him bingoing. Like, I feel confident after Pisan that I'm going to win if the bot doesn't bingo. I don't feel confident about that after Z. And I'd rather not put myself in a position to get outrun without a bingo. So, yeah, I think I'm going to play Pizen. And the bot plays on. I draw the blank, so do I have... I must have something, right? Indolent, insolent, non-elite. I'm looking mostly through these eyes. I'm pretty sure there's no 7s. I've definitely seen this rack many times. Let's see. Lenician? Well, Lenician will play here at least, so I have a bingo. I'd love to double-double through this eye, though. That would score a lot more and really help put the game out of reach. So let's keep going through the alphabet. So yeah, A, B, C, D make nothing. E is non-elite. Well, D makes indolent, I should say, but it doesn't fit. F, G, H, I is Lenician. J, K, L, M, yeah, N, O, P, Q, R is nothing. S is insolent. Non-title with a T doesn't work. U, V, W, X, Y, Z is nothing. And I doubt there's anything that would overlap through this E in Bizes. Yeah, so I think Lenician might be my only one. Because I'll just quickly go through the alphabet in my head here as well, but I'm pretty sure that there's no 7s on this rack. Is it worth considering playing Lento and not bingoing? No, I don't think it is. I don't think I'm up enough to do that. So yeah, I think we're just going to play Lenician, and as long as he doesn't bingo on the next turn, I'll just block over there, and I should be pretty secure at that point. Okay, so Denim, and what are we looking at here? We're looking at some good bingo tiles, D-E-E-S-T, but also some junk. We've got G-K-Q-W in the bag. So I guess I just have to be a little bit careful about getting Q stuck. I'm quite confident that there are no bingos available in that pool. But the good thing is I have this U. So I don't think I'm really in much risk of getting Q stuck. I guess this J is kind of bad. Like, what am I doing with this J? Now that I look more closely. I actually have very few places to play this J, which is a little bit alarming. I mean, I think I'm still up enough to win. Like, I wonder, is playing just J-O a bad play? Because I actually hit Salik for a ton with a Q draw. And, I mean, I still don't think I ever lose, right? Because, yeah, well, now if I draw the Q, I just win. I think, right? Because I guess the thing is, what if I draw the Q and he plays, like, skewed or something? I guess I have to be a little bit careful. Especially because ink is valid, so that'll score well. So I'm still at 53, though. Yeah, and if I draw the Q, I'm still going to have plays like a Deuce and Souk, or yeah, NOS and Souk, or QIS and Foz. Like, I'll still be able to score 30 with the Q. So I think this is fine, because either I draw the Q, and well, either I bingo with Salik for 100, or I score well enough with it, or, well, if he has the Q, then he's probably, well, he's not stuck with it, but he's going to have to play it for like 11 somewhere. So yeah, this is fine, right? Because the way I look at this logically, again, is there's two logical outcomes that are possible, right? Either I draw the Q, or I don't draw the Q. If I draw the Q, I win, because he can't bingo and he can't score enough to outrun plays like SUQ for 30, assuming he blocks the leak. If I don't draw the Q, then either he has the Q or he's going to get the Q. In either of those cases, he can barely do anything with the Q, and I'm going to win easily. So that's basically the deal. Alright, so he does have the Q. He plays Kedge. And the score is kind of close now, but like I said, I mean, he has QIS for 24. I guess I could block that. I mean, force him to play QI over here. I'm not sure I necessarily need to. It'd be good to go out in 2 here. It might not be that easy, though, with this rack. Ilias and lose doesn't really work. Huh, this is actually kind of annoying. But yeah, I have Nisei over here for a lot. So why don't I play... Yeah, why don't I play, like, Glue or something, saving Nisei? That looks really good. I mean, I give him Souk, but that's a lot less than QIS. And he can block Nisei, but then he gets Q stuck, right? Because he can only block it, I think, by playing Denims. Yeah, so let's do this, and then he's going to play Souk. And now I just go out with Nisei. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I think that was a good endgame. I win 455 to 396. I felt pretty good about that game. Definitely got some good draws. I got both of the blanks. I got the X for 50, so I feel like I played pretty well, drew pretty well, but let's see. So, okay, he wins with Craft keeping PV. Pretty clunky opening rack. Yeah, Chard looks fine here. I don't see a good reason to play Charted. ERT has enough bingo potential that I think it makes sense to sacrifice the 4 points to try to get a bingo down. Oh, I didn't see Theta here. GLR is so clunky, though, that I think giving up a couple points, to play GAT and hold the E and a slightly more bingo-prone leave makes sense. Whoops. Yeah, Cluster, Relux. Oh, I don't think I actually mentioned Cutlers. But yeah, that plays here as well. It's pretty similar to Relux. Relux would have played here actually for 2 more points. I didn't notice that he gave me a spot there, but yeah, Cluster is still definitely too many points to pass up. The bot just kind of struggling to get a balanced rack here, and yeah, very lucky sequence of events. I get a X play for 50, and then I draw Rubius, which is indeed the only playable bingo. I think sacrificing the 1 point as I did to not open the hotspots on the right is definitely sensible. In this case, he gave him right ear, although he would have still had right ear if I had played Rubius over here. It still would have played to the R, so no harm, no foul there. And I didn't actually consider Donas over here. I don't think that's worth it, though. It gives up so much firepower. I mean, AENS is so strong. Oh, there's also Anodes. Well, Anodes is certainly better than Donas here to turn over an extra tile and go for the blank, and also keep a more balanced leave. But yeah, Anodes is tricky to spy. I may have played that if I saw it. I saw Anodize for 32. I didn't see this 6 overlap of Anodes over here. 17 is a lot of points to give up. I mean, AENS is really strong, especially with this floating Eye and Rubius and the Olafine and Olafins hooks. So there's a lot of upside to my play. But I probably would have played Anodes just because there are still 2 S's unseen. There's a blank, so turning over tiles and scoring some extra points to pad my lead is really nice as well. Puts me up 60. I'm really in a good position after a node. So I think I probably play this if I see it, but I wouldn't call this a big mistake. They're just 2 very different kinds of plays that both have some strengths. Yeah, this seems bad, but I guess he just has no good way to get rid of the Q. Wait, so did he have the Q for the entire rest of the game? Because he had it at the end, and I don't think he ever traded. Wow, I think the bot held onto the Q for the whole game. Yeah, there's no way this can be right. I mean, yeah, I guess is there just nothing other than QI for 11? I mean, I guess you can play Cade for 14. Is there just, like, no better way whatsoever to get rid of this Q? Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. But, I mean, Rob, keeping AEIQ is just so bad. I think you gotta get rid of the Q here. I mean, yeah, there's only 1 U left unseen. And the problem is, like, there's no bailout tiles, right? I mean, I guess the T, if you can draw a T and get caught in the top left. I don't know. I mean, I'm always a proponent of when in doubt, get rid of the Q ASAP. I know you're giving up a lot of points. I think I would have still played Cade there. But it's a really tough position. A seems good. Easy is there. I didn't look at that. It's 13 more points, but AENPS is so strong. I think that's got to be right. Yeah, and here he's just kind of getting into this vicious cycle of not having a good way to get rid of the Q. That's the problem. And he plays buys, which now I think seems sensible. I mean, you just have, again, no way to get rid of the Q. Yeah, I think Pisan makes sense here. Yeah, and he's just... Again, this is the problem. Like, he's basically just playing Scrabble with 6 tiles here because he has the Q and no way to get rid of it. I think that's why, because there's only 1 U left and there's just no good places. As wide open as this board is, there are just no good places at all to play QI. And the Q is just such a liability. I think he should have gotten rid of it ASAP, and now he's having to deal with it, as we're seeing, for like 4, 5, 6, maybe even turns in a row in the end. And he is scoring. But unless he can draw the blank or a U, maybe an S, to at least be able to play QIS for 24. He just has no future, and Lanition is the only bingo. Yeah, I mean, here I think Denim just loses. Like, you're never... I guess he could draw Squeegee or something, but that doesn't even play. Yeah, I don't even know what he can draw after Denim. I mean, I think you have to... Yeah, I don't even know. You have to do this and hope to draw an E for Deeming and hope I have 7 consonants, maybe? I mean, I don't know. But Denim just loses on the spot, for sure. Yeah, I guess I could just play Nisei, but I don't... That could turn ugly if I draw the Q, and of course I don't know he has the Q, and that he's had the Q for like 4 turns already, so I think my play is good. Like I said, I knew if I drew the Q, I'd hit Salik for 100 and have other plays as a backup, but I knew if he had the Q, then he was going to end up having to play it for just a few points. So yeah, and then I have this nice endgame sequence. Once again, he can block Nisei with Denims. Technically, I believe that's the only way he can actually block it, but then I'm going to block this spot on the left here for him to play his Q. I'll just play SI for 2 over there, and then he's stuck. So, or actually, wait, no, he's not stuck. He would have had QI here, I just realized. Oh, yeah, but I mean, it's still probably not worth it for him to play Denims, because I just play Nisei through that S, and then I'm going to still score a lot with, like, clusters and mobs, so I'm not even sure it's worth it for him to play Denims. Yeah, I somehow forgot he could still play QI here, so he's actually not stuck after Denims with the Q. But he still obviously loses by quite a lot. But yeah, overall, pretty sound game from me. I'm happy with how I played. Yeah, I mean, definitely no glaring mistakes. Adu was an interesting turn. Pisan was an interesting turn. They were both, I suppose, a little bit questionable, but I'm very happy with how I played. And yeah, I feel like the bot's downfall was, it definitely got a little unlucky at the end, but it also kind of, I feel, brought it upon itself by keeping the Q for 5 or 6 turns. You've probably heard me say more times than you can count, just you gotta get rid of the Q if you can within reason when you first get it. And I think by not just sort of biting the bullet and playing Cade for 14 instead of playing Rob for 30, keeping AE IQ, the bot just sort of put itself into this vicious cycle of having the Q and kind of having no choice but to keep it and having to play Scrabble with 6 tiles for literally the rest of the game. I mean, we saw the bot did not get to play the Q until it had only 4 tiles left in the endgame. And the bot had the Q all the way from back here when there were still like 30 plus tiles unseen. That's a long time. That's like a third of the whole game, guys. The bot had the Q. That is way too long. You should never have the Q for a third of the game. Like, if you have the Q for a third of the game, then you know you've done something wrong. Pretty much, I feel like, with no exceptions. Yeah, so I think, I don't know what would have happened if the bot played Cade, but if it got a good draw, it certainly could have bingoed, and at the minimum just had some more flexibility to try to mount a comeback. So I think this was not a well-played game by the bot, but I mean, I don't know for sure. It could be that the Q maybe wasn't as bad as I thought it was, and the bot got a little unlucky, but it just, like I said, I feel like if you have the Q for a third of the game, then that just can't be right. But I don't know. In any case, a good win for us. We get a 59-point victory here, and we are now up to 56.5 wins with 5 more games to go. So, yeah, that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon for game number 96. Thanks again, and have a good one. Bye-bye.